What if I told you that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin may have struck a pact that sacrifices Ukraine in the name of a questionable peace? And what if I showed you that this story looks eerily similar to a biblical episode, the moment of the Crucifixion? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see global geopolitics. On August 15, 2025, Trump and Putin met in Anchorage, Alaska. The meeting was presented as a historic milestone, two controversial leaders, face to face, discussing the future of the war in Ukraine. But the truth is that officially, no agreement was signed. Only promises, gestures, calculated words. Still, behind closed doors, a shocking proposal began to surface. Putin would be willing to freeze the battlefronts in Kherson and Zaporizhzhia in exchange for Ukraine giving up Donetsk and Luhansk. Yes, you heard it right. Ceding territory as currency for a fragile peace. But it doesn't end there. The alleged deal also included something unprecedented. For the first time, Putin would have accepted the idea of NATO-style Article 5 security guarantees for Ukraine. In other words, a promise that the United States would defend Kyiv against any future Russian aggression. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? And maybe it is, because European leaders and President Zelensky reject any negotiation involving territorial loss. After all, what kind of peace is built upon the sacrifice of an entire nation? American senators have already warned, there is no real deal, just vague words. Critics argue that Trump is being played by Putin and that the summit was nothing more than a diplomatic gift to Moscow. Meanwhile, Putin talks about restoring ties with the United States in energy, technology, and even the Arctic. But the question is, who is actually winning here? Is Ukraine just the bargaining chip, the sacrificial lamb, in a negotiation between giants? This is where the biblical comparison comes in. Because what we see today is not just politics, it's a drama with gospel undertones. Just as Jesus was betrayed, handed over, and led to Golgotha, Ukraine seems to be carried to the altar of sacrifice. The betrayal. Leaders discuss its fate without giving it a real voice. The sacrifice, giving up land, lives, sovereignty. The promise of resurrection. Vague security, guarantees that sound like salvation, but lack solid ground. In this picture, Trump resembles Pilate, washing his hands, presenting himself as mediator, but refusing to make a definitive stand. And the cries of the crowd echo. Some call for peace at any cost, others demand justice and reject concessions. Picture the scene. A people push toward the cross, while powerful leaders decide between applause and silence. Ukraine carries the cross of resilience, while Trump and Putin carry only the cross of convenience. And the world watches, divided, asking, how far will this geopolitical theater go? Could Alaska be the new Golgotha, where a nation is sacrificed so that others may keep their illusion of peace? The Crucifixion story tells us that after the suffering, there was hope of resurrection. But here, will Ukraine rise stronger? Or will it be buried alive in the name of a shallow agreement? We face an ethical dilemma. Is it possible to build peace while negotiating away principles? Is it possible to guarantee global stability by trading pieces of a sovereign country as bargaining chips? These are the questions no one in Anchorage answered, but that echo in the hearts of millions. One thing is certain, this story is far from over. The judgment of history has only just begun. Ukraine may be today's crucified figure, but the final verdict depends on what leaders and nations will do tomorrow. And when this chapter is written, the whole world will be watching. If you want to keep following this epic saga of modern geopolitics, subscribe, turn on notifications, and get ready. Because the next act may be even more shocking.